Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Don't Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reacting to the ESPN's top 100 athletes list for the 21st century. They kind of put out this list, talking about who's the best athletes, and also, a quick little important note, it's best athletes, and also they take into consideration of like their accolades, everything about them, what they did in their sport, pretty much to explain, long story short. So what I want to do, like I said, kind of go through and review the list from 100 to 1 and give my opinion. Does some players deserve to be in that certain spot? Is there a player that may rank too low, too high? Is there a player that was just completely left off the list that should have been at least on the list? A couple of quick things I want to kind of point out. Number one, I don't watch every single sport in the world. There's a couple of sports athletes on here, like cricket I saw, gymnastics I saw. I don't watch every single sport. Sports like that, and even soccer, I don't watch every single sport. So if there's athletes on here and I'm like talking about, oh, I'm talking a lot about maybe like a sport I do watch, but then whenever it comes to those sports, I'm not really talking too much about them. That's why I don't really want to talk too much about an athlete that I don't know who you are. Just want to get that out of the way so there's no confusion. But as always, I'm going to put a link to this whole like list down in the description below. If you want to go check it out for yourself, feel free. And like if you don't have to listen to me. But I'm going to go ahead and get straight into this. If you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, this is take two because my recording didn't save. Okay, I'm not pissed, but we're gonna get back into this. Starting off, let's do this real quick. Charles Woodson, he's a great athlete. He is probably one of the better safeties, better corners / safeties we've seen in this game. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate in college. He was a great player in the league, Hall of Famer. He did it all. He deserves to be on the list. Could he have been higher? Possibly. Ed Reed, he deserves to be on the list. I think he should have been a lot higher, probably like top 60, top 50 if we're gonna be honest. Connor McDavid. I don't watch hockey that much, but when I did watch hockey in the Stanley Cup Finals, this man was a demon, which surprises me because it's like, how is this man that good of a player? He has accolades. He's a terrific athlete. He's a team player, and he's only 98. Like, what the fuck? I'm going through some people I don't really care or watch about. Cricket, like I said, I don't watch cricket. Darrell Revis deserves to be on the list. Could have been maybe a little bit higher. Soccer players, I'm sorry. If anybody watches soccer and you know about these athletes, let me know in the comments. Should they have been higher or lower? Because I don't really watch hockey that much. Rory McIlroy, he deserves to be on the list. Probably could have been higher. Rory McIlroy was like the great player that we all kind of grew up with. If you're like kind of like my generation, we grew up with like Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy. These are the golfers we grew up with, and they were the players that we loved to watch. Pedro Martinez, I'm gonna be honest, this might be a hot take. I'm surprised he's on the list. Like, this is a player that I would have been not really super surprised that he was left off the list. I'm more surprised that he's on the list. Now, here's where I'm going to get fucking pissed. This is where the list goes straight in the trash. How is Aaron Rodgers number 91? How is this man not at least like up in the top 40? 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, all-team pro and everything, 475 passing touchdowns. The man is a demon out there. And one thing I think everybody needs to realize for people that don't watch Aaron Rodgers, when it comes to all-time great quarterbacks, and I'm talking about like from your skill to your knowledge of the game, reading a defense, how you throw the ball, how you get around defenders, the skill of a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers at all times is going to be breathed in the same breath as top 5 greatest talents at the quarterback position of all time, no matter when. Meaning, if I see 5 more quarterbacks on this list ahead of him, I'm going to have some words with whoever made this list. Let's kind of move through the list. AJ Wilson deserve, golfing players. Don't really know who you are, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you deserve to be on the list. Roy Halladay, one of the greatest pitchers in like the early 2000s, late 2000s that we've seen. This man was a demon, especially in that one World Series. That was great watching him pitch. More soccer players, don't really watch soccer. Venus Williams, Serena's sister, she deserves to be on the list. She's a great player. She was awesome. She did win a couple of things, a couple titles throughout her time. And when I say a couple, I'm being sarcastic. She was a dominant player. She was up there with Serena as being like one of the greatest, I want to say duos, but then again, they were sisters. They weren't really duos. Just like family champion winning families. Like, there was no stopping them. Kawhi Leonard being at 85, I honestly understand why, because the injuries have just held him back all the time. There was a lot of like people on NBA Today, I think Kendrick Perkins and some other people on there that were saying like, could he have been like top 50, top 40? People, you need to really remember something. This is not an NBA only list. This is every single sports tier list. So get your head out of your ass. And number 2, when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, how are you going to put him that high? The man's always injured. He hasn't been relevant in the NBA really since like what, 2021? 85 I think is a good spot for him. He can stay there and shut up. We got Lauren Jackson in here. Great WNBA player. She's like one of the all-time best players in WNBA history. She deserves to be on the list. Maybe she could have been a little higher. Chris Paul. The point guard being 83, that's tough. Could have been higher, maybe, but we'll move on. Gymnastics, I don't know who you are. You won a lot of gold medals. Good job. You probably could have been higher. For that amount of gold medals, you could have been higher. Cheryl Swoops could have been higher. 4-time WNBA champion. But I think it's one of those things where it's like people are kind of sleeping on the WNBA a little bit too much. And that's kind of why you're so low on the list. Andy Murray, I'm going to be honest. Andy Murray could have been lower. He's not super known in the world of sports. He could have been a little bit lower. Bryce Harper being at 79, that actually surprises me a little bit. I thought he would have been a little bit higher. Could he have been a little bit lower? Maybe there's like you could make an argument for it. I thought he could have been a little bit higher, but we'll move on. Bernardo Hopkins, something I need to point out for people. This man, I think, was slept on so much because of the way Floyd Mayweather kind of took over the boxing scene. If you do not know who Bernardo Hopkins is and you don't watch boxing and you're like trying to get into boxing, or maybe you are a boxing fan and you like to just know who other boxers are, go watch highlights of this man. This man will scare you to death. We got some track stars. Again, I don't watch track. We got George St. Pierre, probably the Hall of Famer from the UFC, the greatest, one of the greatest UFC fighters we have. He deserves to be in the list. Probably could have been higher. Soccer player, basketball player, Mookie Betts, deserving. Could have been higher. Well, no, I'm going to be honest. He could have been lower. Shaun White. How is he not higher? 15-time X Games medals, 3-time gold medals. How is he not higher? He could have been probably easily top 20. Like, this man could have easily been top 20. I don't care what you say. Manny Pacquiao. 71's a good spot. We got some soccer players kind of scrolling through. Jason Kidd, maybe I could see that. Phil Mickelson, deserving. He's a great-ass golfer. He deserves it. James Harden, the greatest ball hog man to ever live. He's an all-star. He's 75th anniversary team for the WNBA, or for the NBA. He's an MVP. He's done everything. He deserves to be on the list, but could he been lower? Probably. John Jones deserves to be on the list. He's the baddest man in the UFC. But we're going to kind of scroll through here to wrap up through some players that I don't really know who they are. Soccer players, like I said, track people, I don't know who they are. Shohei Ohtani. Some people said he should have been like top 10 because of just how skilled he is. I think he honestly could have been like top 80. And let me explain. He's still relatively new to the league. He's still like, he's not like the face, like the guy that's been around for like the past 10 years. Like he needs to be the guy that leads the MLB. He's still like, he's like in his prime right now. And he's like just blossoming and being like I feel like this guy could get better. I mean, it's like he's got a great ERA when it comes to pitching. He's hitting 40 home runs. This man could honestly probably pitch a 2 ERA and 50 home runs a year. Like I said, he probably could have been a little bit lower just for the sake of like he's got room to grow. Ray Lewis, the baddest man in football. How the fuck is this man not even top 30? He should have been top 30. I don't care what you say. He's ruined careers because of how punishing he hits. Candace Parker, deserving, up there. Mario Rivera, the greatest closer to ever live. How is he top 50? Or how is he only 59? How is he only 59? He should have been at least 40. 40, 42, somewhere in there. J.J. Watt, deserving. Calvin Johnson, deserving. Soccer player, don't really watch. Alex Ovechkin. Here's my thing with Alex. He is a great-ass hockey player. He's got accomplishments. He's a great player. He's got skill. His thing that kind of holds it back is he's not like super flashy, I think is the problem. He just goes out there and gets the job done, and that's kind of what holds it back. People like the players in all sports that like, they're flashy, they do a lot of crazy shit. He doesn't really do that. He just gets the job done and go kicks your ass. El Capitan, the captain, Derek Jeter, 53, I like the spot. Adrian Beltre, deserving of that spot. Steve Nash, 51. Kind of surprising he didn't crack top 50, but it is what it is. Soccer players, good job. Jimmy Johnson, we got some NASCAR in here. I like the spot. Honestly, forgot about NASCAR, but I think we're going to be seeing some more NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt, I haven't seen him yet. If he's not in this list, I'm going to be kind of confused. Max Scherzer, great-ass pitcher. David Ortiz, great-ass baseball player. Deserved it. Skiing, I don't think I've ever watched skiing in my life, besides the Olympics, so kind of can't put him up there. Alex Rodriguez, greatest player. I still am kind of pissed off at A-Rod for the fact of all the surgeries he went through, all the drama he went through, that he couldn't get to the fucking 700 home runs in his career. That still pisses me off. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I like the spot for him, 42. He could have been higher. I wouldn't have been mad if he went up any higher. Dirk Nowitzki, I like the spot, 41. He could have been higher as well. Justin Verlander, 40. I like the spot. That's perfect for him. Kevin Durant at 39. Again, another basketball player that everybody on NBA Today and ESPN and SportsCenter, they were talking about like, how is he going 39? He should have been top 10 easily. It's a all sports list, people, not just basketball. Barry Bonds at 38. Everybody's gonna say, oh, he juice. Who cares? It happened. It's whatever. Ichiro Suzuki, I like him getting love. If he didn't get on this list, I would have been pissed. Maya Moore, I like her on this list. She's a great player. Dwayne Wade, I was going to say if we don't see him, I'm going to be pissed. More WNBA players. Miguel Cabrera, I like him on this list. He's in a good spot. He could have been maybe 40, but 33, that's honestly a very deserving spot for him. Soccer players, Clayton Kershaw, I like him being in that spot. He could have been lower. Mike Trout, 30, he probably could have been a little bit higher. Michael Schumacher, I think is how you say. Auto racing, we got a little bit of NASCAR, kind of like some Formula One champion. Great ass player. He's got the lead for all-time podiums appearances, so he deserves that spot. Jokic being at 28 already at this point in his career is kind of like what I said with Shohei Ohtani. Like, they got room to grow. Let them grow. Put Jokic back at like 50 if I was going to be honest. Randy Moss is 27. He's probably one of the greatest wide receivers to ever live, along with like Terrell Owens and some of those guys. He deserves to be on this list up there, 27. Peyton Manning at 26. That shocks me that he's not up towards like top 15, but okay, we'll see what happens. Floyd Mayweather at 25. Floyd's probably going to see this list and be like, how the fuck am I not number one? Buddy, you got some competition. Like I said, I've seen some people on there, but we'll kind of get into that. But Floyd Mayweather, 50, one of the greatest boxers to ever live. Could be the greatest boxer to ever live. 5 division world champion. He's long time pound for pound. Here's my thing with him. He, as we know with boxers, he didn't like fluctuate his weight that much. He boxed a lot of great boxers. Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, Ricky Hatton, Juan Manuel Marquez. He boxed a lot of great boxers. The problem is he waited till the guys got a little bit out of their prime, or maybe they were like still early in their prime when he boxed these guys. He didn't box them like where it's like right here, we could box right there in 4 months we're gonna box. He was like the kind of the guy that's like, let's wait 2 years and then we'll do it. And then by then it was like, it's not even worth it now. Albert Pujols, one of the greatest players we've seen in this generation and probably in MLB history. He deserves to be on the list. Kevin Garnett, 23. I love that spot for him. Sidney Crosby, gonna go down as probably one of the greatest hockey players or most underrated hockey players we've ever seen. He deserves to be on this list. 22 is a great spot for him. Diana Taurasi, 21. She could have been also higher. She's probably like the face of WNBA even whenever she leaves. Aaron Donald at 20. That's a great spot for him. I like that. Lewis Hamilton, probably the best Formula One champion and racer we have. He could have been higher, honestly. Patrick Mahomes at 18. Thank God this motherfucker wasn't put at number 1. If this man would have been put at number 1, I would have lost my shit. Because everything, whenever it comes to football lists, he's always at number 1. If this motherfucker would have if Kermit the goddamn Frog would have put at number 1, I'm losing my shit. Shaq at 17. Could have been higher, but I like where it's at. Tim Duncan, nah. We gotta flip those. Duncan at 17, Shaq at 16. I don't care what you say. Shaq's better. Katie Ledecky, I like that. Did you see her a couple weeks ago at the Olympic, like the qualifying? This woman beat everybody by like 3 lengths. What the fuck was going on? Or like 3 laps. What the hell is going on with her? Steph Curry at 14. I like this for him. He probably could have been top 10 because it's the way he changed the NBA, the way everybody shoots the 3 ball. But it is what it is. Ronaldo at 13. I like that spot for him. He deserves it. Nadal at 12. We're going to see a lot of tennis players here. Yep, Djokovic is in there. And Federer is probably going to be up there as well. These guys all deserve these spots. Kobe Bryant at 10. I love him. RIP for Kobe. But he's like probably the Mamba mentality is going to live on in the NBA forever because of him. Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, 100% deserves this spot. He could have been higher. Tiger Woods, going to go down up there with like Jack Nicklaus as the greatest golfers to ever play in the sport of golf. He's never going anywhere off this list. Simone Biles, really? It's like, I see why you're trying to do it, but like, you could have put her like down to a 20. Come on, man. But we'll move on. Roger Federer, 6. I like it. He's the greatest tennis player to ever live. Tom Brady at 5. This is where people are getting pissed off. Everybody's like, he's not athletic. It's accolades and athleticism. And with the accolades that comes along with him, he deserves the spot. Then people are going to talk about like, well, if accolades helps him get this spot, how is he not number 1? He's the greatest athlete to ever live. There's a thing called it's both at the same time. And the people above him have skill and accolades. So shut the fuck up. We got LeBron James, number 4. I like the spot, and people are going to be like, how is LeBron James at 4? Where's Michael? People, it's not. It's a 21st century list. Not a 90s list, a 21st century list. Because I've already seen people in comments on Instagram talking about like, where the fuck is Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan's not going to be on this list. Take it a break. It's like, take a fucking chill pill, bro. But LeBron at 4, I like that spot. He deserves a spot. And you wouldn't say, oh, why is he any higher? Why isn't he like a 3, 2? Probably not number 1, but why not 3 or 2? It's because Lionel Messi at 3. deserves a spot 100%. He's the greatest soccer player to ever live. He's going to be in that top 3. Serena Williams at number 2. She is the greatest tennis player on the women's side because of how many champions she's won, Wimbledon's, how much she won. She won while she was fucking pregnant, people. This lady is the greatest athlete I've seen probably with my own eyes, but not better than the number 1. And that is fucking Michael Phelps. A record 28-time Olympic medalist, 23-time Olympic gold medals, most gold medals at a single Olympics when he won 8 at the Beijing in 2008. I don't care what you say. This man, even though some people are going to be like, swimming ain't that hard, I swim in my free time. Go swim against that man. He's like a human fucking fish. But now that list is all done, I want to kind of give my quick little feedback. Like I said, I like the list. There was a couple of names that could have probably been like shuffled up and down. Whenever it comes to like athletes that should have been on the list, most of the people I kind of had in mind were on the list, so I'm not really mad there. It's more or less just like there were some players that maybe should have been higher, lower. Some players that were like in a certain spot maybe were good, but could have been like tweaked a little bit. Other than that, I think the list is pretty good if I was going to give it a grade. B+, it could have been tweaked a little bit. There were some spots that could have been tweaked, like I said. But whenever it comes to like some of the sports and athletes that I don't watch, like I said, cricket, soccer, some hockey players, I can't really judge where they should be ranked because I don't watch the sports. If you watch them, like I said, let me know in the comments about where they should be. But as I said with the list, B+, good rating. I like the list. But other than that, I think I want to wrap up there. Hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Do you like where the spots of the players were at? Do you think you agree with me on what I said? Do you disagree with what I said? Do you think certain players, if you want to leave your opinion about where certain players should have been ranked, if there was a player that you saw that was like, how the fuck is he this high or too low? Or how is she high or too low? Let me know your complete opinion down in the comment section down below. And I'd be welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do poster and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Don't Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.